got a very good feedback about our last session, which was on Azure security versus cybersecurity. And we had a very good session. And thanks for all of you who actually passed the feedback to us. And we really love to have feedbacks for everyone because it actually helps us to make sure that we improvise all our webinar sessions, because we are going to meet every other second Saturday with all of you. Okay. So anytime you want to meet all of us to complete Think Loudly team, you can always come to our session 11 a.m. Every second Saturday, we will see here. We'll see all of you here. So today, moving to our, okay. So today's session is going to be focused on AWS CLI. Now, why we have chosen this topic, because this is really hot in the market. Many of our students who recently got the job in IT, they came to me and said, hey, Naman, what is this AWS CLI? We know how to use AWS on console or on UI, but we do not know what is this CLI. We haven't heard about it. So after getting so many questions on that, I thought, let's have this session today and make sure that we enlighten all our students, and we tell them that how you can basically use CLI that's going to help you in your interview. Next interview, if someone asks you what CLI, you can answer them. And also, how to use it. Okay, that's the true agenda of this webinar today. Moving to the schedule. So how the schedule looks like, we have actually sent this schedule in all the groups so that people feel excited that what is there today in our today's webinar, and we just want to make sure that we are on time. So agenda looks like this. So this is like, we are right now, first of all, we are going to invite our guest. So we have our guest who is one of our student. She got the job recently, and I'm very, very happy about her that she made it. She's really close to us. She has gone through a lot of courses with us, and the determination, the consistency, and the zeal she brings, always, that is something which actually made it happen. So you'll see and you'll hear her, you'll listen to her in a while. Just give us like 2 or 3 minutes. Moving to that, I'll be introducing about us. Who are we? What are we doing in IT space? How are we actually enabling career transition for a lot of students? So I'm just going to talk about it for a couple of minutes, not more than that. And that is only for students who are joining us very first time. Moving to it, as we always have a exclusive every time, this, that whenever you join us, we keep webinar exclusive offers. Again, we have some exciting offers today as well. Remember one thing, this exciting offer will last only for 30 minutes. If any one of you is interested, do let us know so that we can register you for exciting offers. Moving onto that, we will be spending at least 25 to 30 minutes on AWS CLI. We'll try to understand what is AWS CLI, where to use it, why to use it, and what kind of commands are there, what is actually. So we'll basically understand that. And remember one thing, everyone, this is for every one of you. So we have a surprise gift for all of you. This is something we wanted to, as a Think Loudly team, we wanted to offer to all of you. And we have a very, I don't know if it's a big surprise or not, but it is something which we think that matters to every one of you who aspire to work in IT. So we have a surprise gift for all of you who are joining today. This is not for this is not for all the students. This is just for the people who are joining us today. And we have a surprise for all of you. So I just want you to be there till the last to avail this surprise for free. So please be there with us till the last to see like what is the surprise gift we have for you. And I promise you that this surprise gift matters to all of you. Okay. And in the last, we are going to have a question and answers, a very quick question and answers. You can drop your question and answers anytime. You feel free to call us anytime and we'll be answering your questions. But in case you have some question and answers, we will answer that as well in our last section of this webinar. So I know I have taken a lot of time on agenda and schedule, but I really want you to feel excited about the exciting offers and surprise gift. Be with us till the last to avail a very exciting offer and surprise gift for all of you. And remember, our exciting offer will last only for 30 minutes. So if you register in between, you'll get it. If you couldn't, then you'll miss it. So moving ahead. Okay, so I don't know if Destiny is here. Hi, Destiny. Are you here right now with us? Let me just check if Destiny is with us.
I am here, and I'm just driving to the driveway. So just give me 2 minutes. I'm just getting into my house.
No problem. No problem, Destiny. Please take your time. Meanwhile, I would like to congratulate Destiny again. Congratulations, Destiny, for making into IT. It was really next to impossible, but you actually made it. And that shows that, you know, how determined you were. And I remember all the conversation we had, but it was really something which really, you know, shows that how much hard work you did to get into IT. We'll be excited to hear from you in a while, if you're reaching your location. Meanwhile, for people who are joining very first time, I just want to take 2 more minutes and just want to introduce Think Loudly with all of you. Meanwhile, Destiny is reaching her destination. So I'm just trying to.
Right now, I've reached.
Oh, you have reached? Okay, sure. Destiny, yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Yeah. All right. I'm Destiny. Are you hearing me right now? Yeah. Hi, everybody. I'm sure a couple of people know me because I've done a couple of classes with different batches of people. I'm sure most of you would know me. Yeah, I have been with Thinkcloudly for, was it early last year, Naman? Was it 2021?
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Recording in progress.
Yeah. Yes. So I did a couple of. I mean, I actually came there when I was.
I think Destiny, we lost you. I think you, Destiny, are you there with us? Gaurav, can you hear me? Audible?
Yes.
Okay, Destiny, we lost.
So I did a couple of projects with him.
Destiny, we lost you for a while. Can you hear me?
What?
Destiny, we lost you. I mean,
tricky.
I think Destiny is not in a good network right now. So let me just move on to our introduction. Gaurav, can you please ask Kajal to reach out to Destiny and see if she can join back us? Yeah.
Yes, sure.
Okay. So guys, just for all of you who are new to Think Loudly is, again, as I said always, it's a single stop shop for all your interview needs. If you really want a smooth transition to IT, coming from a very different background, or probably you are in IT, but you want to upgrade your skills and want to get into a very trending technologies, so you are at the right place, which is Think Loudly. We are putting constant efforts by having a lot of number of people working with us today, and they are making their constant efforts to provide the services to students, which are end-to-end services for the smooth transition into IT. You need to attend any trainings. We offer more than 24 courses today, and we are offering resume assistance. We offer interview preparation assistance. A lot of assistances we provide in case, just to ensure that you reach your milestone as soon as possible. Our main focus is just to ensure that you go to the market as early as you can. Market is changing every day. So we just want to make sure once your training is completed, you are on live projects, once your live projects are done, your resume is ready and certification is ready. So we are just trying our best to make sure that you reach the market as soon as possible, because when you reach the market, your real struggle starts from there. So you are prepared. It's our responsibility that you are well prepared, and when you are in the market, you're ready to apply jobs, and then you get into a lot of interviews. So that's what we.
Okay, I've settled in. Can you hear me now?
Yes, thank you, thank you. Yes,
Sorry, my data and Wi-Fi were conflicting. Sorry. All right. So what did you last hear me say?
well, you were
Sorry,
you were telling us that you joined us last year in December, and
yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah, I got there when I got to think loudly. I actually finished my solutions architect. But I didn't even know what I was going to do after that. So my sister-in-law said, "Oh, there's this guy. Why don't you try him? I mean, he's going to give us orientation towards how to apply what we have learned." So I wasn't really job market ready when I got my certification and stuff. So when I got to Naman now it changed my perspective. I started seeing what I've learned. So I did a couple of projects. I did the courses, 6 projects. Then from then I wanted to have a holistic approach to ID. I didn't just want to be like on one spot. So I had to learn. I had to take courses in DevOps, Terraform, Kubernetes, Linux. I did a couple of many courses because I had other things that were going so on. So I wasn't like ready to go into the job market. But some point I was kind of scared. So I kept on asking Amanda, do you think I can really do this thing? But I think I love doing the ID, but I'm really glad because my time spent here with Think Loudly I worked really, really hard. Trust me, I studied a lot. People have different journeys, people have different brains, but me, I had to study a lot. Everything I did in class, I had to come back at night. I will do it again, all the hands-on, I will do them and do until I understood the connectivity between one service and the dependency of one service on another. So I had to look at IT now from a holistic approach. So it was hard for me. I wasn't even getting the calls. I wasn't even going for the job. I mean, I put my IT there and my resume out there. I wasn't getting the call, but Think Cloudly helped me to put my resume together to be in a way that was now very attractive. And so when I put my resume out there, I think this was my real first interview that I did, because the other interviews I did were not really what I wanted. But it was now man said, go for the interviews, just have a feel. So I'll do interviews for courses that were not even what I learned, just to go in there and see the kind of questions. But this was the one interview that matched what I really wanted to do. So when I got this offer, I sent it to Naman. I'm like, look at this. You have been teaching me before. Do you think I have the necessary skills? Oh, he said, yes, Destiny, go for it. It's good. Take it, go on. And then I went and applied for the job. So God being so faithful to me, and as he has his will for my life, I got the job and I'm going to start next week. So that's how my story has been with Think Cloudly. But I've attended every seminar, and it doesn't end here. Even after this, I'll still be taking other courses because my dream is to be an IT director. So what I've learned is not enough. So I'll keep learning courses because the IT world, new things come up every day. So I have to keep, building up what I have here, in my head. So that's where I am. And I want to thank Think Cloudly, thank the personnel, even my classmates that have been very, helpful. They encouraged me when I was low. When I have questions, I reach out to my other classmates and they will tell me what to do. So I really, really thank God for what you guys have done and how important what you have done contributed in my life to where I am right now. So thank you, and handing over to you back, Naman.
Okay, we'll not let you go, Destiny. So I just want you to tell us that how was your journey in your last interview? And like I know that how was the journey, but I want to I want everyone over here to know that how was your journey in your last interview, and how did you deal with the problems, and how many rounds were there, and how long will it take for you to get your background check? Because there are few students who are in their background check stages, and I'm very sure that we are gonna see them coming to these webinars in future. But yes, if you can just help them to understand that how long does it take everything, and how many rounds of interview were there, like maybe extra 2-3 minutes.
Okay, so the interview I did, I mean the initial one with the agent, it lasted about 25 minutes because the agent actually wasn't the kind of agent I didn't know, because he had been given specific instructions on what to look for to source out in the candidate. So he was kind of technical as well. So I had that interview with him. It wasn't just about, he actually asked me specific questions, the kind of skills I had and the kind of services. So that interview lasted for about 20 minutes. And from then he said he was going to see if I could be selected for the technical part. So when I did that, it was fine. So I think about 1 week after, he called me that, good luck for you. You have been selected to go now to the very technical part. Now, this is where I had my beef. I didn't sleep before the technical part. So, I mean, he said, this is what the job description is all about. Web hostings, managing stuff left and right, S3 buckets, just do what you can do. So I had to spend my whole time learning websites, S3 buckets, learning a couple of other tools that they could ask me questions on. And then I looked at the projects we have done in Thinkcloudly. I think I've done quite a good number of projects with them. So I had to go through the projects over and over so that whenever I get a question, my answers will be seamless and very convincing. And that really helped me. So when I went now for the technical part, he had the director of IT. I mean, there were these big guys in the company, guys that had done 20 years in the company. So 3 guys and 1 Indian guy. So the 3 white guys, everything was going on until the Indian guy logged in 20 minutes after. When I saw this Indian guy, I knew I was dead. I'm like, there comes my time to die. He's going to kill me with questions. So the guy got in and started asking me very technical questions and very stupid questions. When I say stupid questions, that when you answer and they are dumb, they look at you as dumb. But thank God I had learned my serverless very well. That particular project I did, I learned it very well. And I'd learned my CloudFront and how to host website from an S3 bucket and do my SSL. So that particular part. So when he got there to ask me that, I was able to deliver. Now, when I went through the interview, I thought I didn't do well. I mean, I thought I messed up completely. But to my greatest surprise, that was on a Friday. On a Monday, they called me that, what you did was so good. They like you, but they think that there are some areas where you have, gaps and, areas of improvement like web hosting and stuff. But from the things that you could explain, you explain them so well that we think you are a good fit that we can take and we can train you well in those areas where you fell short. So that's where my journey with them began. So I went now for the final interview a couple of weeks after. They called me now to go meet the HR. When I went to the HR, I did the interview. I didn't hear from them. So I was now looking at other avenues. So when I sat in my house, I mean, about 4 weeks after, they called me that they were going to make an offer, give me an offer. So I accepted. After they called me for the offer, I had to wait for another 1 week until I actually spoke now with the director of IT. Then he officially gave the offer letter. So I'm talking about 5 weeks span, of interview and back and forth conversations. So when I had the offer letter, they gave me 1 week to do my background check. So I did the background check. It was supposed to be less than 1 week. The background check, was cleared after a week. Then all these holidays that had been going back and forth. So I actually got the final pack, I think the day that it was announced. So that's when everything was completely signed for me to start early next month. Yeah, that was the journey. Did I answer your question?
Yes, that really helps, Destiny, because a lot of students, they have this, even this happened with me. I remember my time that I applied for a job. I went into 3 rounds of interview, and after that, recruiter waited for 1 week to release my offer letter, and for entire 1 week, my heart was beating very fast. That, oh, will I get it or not? It was really a big offer for me, so I was really excited, and I think that's the same thing happened with you, because I was calling you and then you were saying, I'm keep checking my emails. That was the funniest
I
moment.
checked this whole thing started in September, like towards the end of September. Here we are, end of November, for me to start in December. So it has been a wait.
Oh, that's great. And Destiny, what
Yeah.
is the role? What is the role are you playing? Are you going to play? What's that role? What's that designation? Can you enlighten all of us?
Okay, the role that they offered me was to be the AWS Cloud SysOps engineer that
Okay.
will be managing the operations for the company as well as managing all their websites that are about 500 to 1,000. Make sure I keep
Wow.
it in check. Yeah.
Wow. I mean,
Yeah.
Destiny, I'm very, very happy that whatever you have shared with us and where you are right now, I'm very sure that you will not forget us.
I
And
won't.
and we'll keep bringing you here in our sessions because these sessions are really helpful for a lot of students. And I think you have gone through with these so many sessions. Were these sessions helpful for you when you were there with us? Were those sessions encouraging or not? What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. I just said earlier that I wanted to have like a bird's eye view. That's why if it was just left on me, I would have just done solutions architect and then I go. But I realized that the IT world is evolving. So you can't just stay on one thing and then you get to the job tomorrow, they're kicking you out because you're not a good fit for the next. So to me, that was me. That's what I advise anybody, except, I mean, that is me. That if I'm learning, I'm a solutions architect, I start looking at other services that could be dependent or the solutions architect or could be an offshoot from the solutions architect. So all these sessions, even what we are doing today, I don't miss any. I mean, I've finished classes since. Every time I have this session on Saturday, I join because I know that something will come up new that maybe I'm not aware of. So I'm not boasting that I know anything. I look at myself like in a continuous learning process. So to me, I'll advise anyone that even if you get the job, don't just fold your arm. Come back to these sessions, refresh yourself and find out what is there new in the market. Because I know Thinkcloudly is always coming up with new things for. This is not commercial. I'm just telling you what I think. There are new things that come out every day that you can learn and better yourself. So the sessions have really been helpful for me.
Yes, and I think you were there in all our capsule courses as well. I think you went
Yeah,
for DevOps courses, you went for
the Docker as well.
uh,
I did the Docker as well. Yeah,
yes,
yeah, I
yes.
did. And those helped me for my interview as well because they were asking me questions about other things. Thank God I did all of these. You know, I mean, they were kind of interrelated. I'm not trying to scare anyone. I love to study. That is me. But all these things kind of helped me because the way I answered my question, I mean, it gave them, I mean, it proved that I had the number of years of experience that I told them I had because I could touch and feel in every area or every layer in one way or the other. Not being very, very technical, but I wasn't kind of dumb when some questions came, or maybe in my conversation, I'll mention something. I could talk about a Docker file or talk about something that is like a technical word that they'll know that you're in that from that environment. So those things kind of help me. My lingo in the IT as well. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Destiny. Thank you so much. We will be proceeding now with our next section. But thank you so much for enlightening all of us. And we will not leave you. We will be in touch with you, and we will certainly see you in our next sessions as well. Be with us and please keep guiding our students in alumni group. I think a lot of students are a part of alumni as well. So keep
Yep.
sharing your information over there. And whatever information you share with us, we take end-to-end responsibility to broadcast to all of our community and to all of our students. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Really appreciate it. Yeah.
You're welcome. I say thank you to you as well.
Okay, guys, let's move on to our next session, next section of the session, which is the announcing the offer, the exciting offer. So before I actually talk about the offer, guys, there is one learning which we actually had from Destiny. That is, if you hear any technical term, that should make logical sense. That's the only quickest way to get into IT. If you have heard about Docker file, then there should be some something coming out from you that what is this Docker file, and you have to go and search it, you have to go and read it, you have to go and talk to your instructor, you have to talk to Thinkcloudly people, you have to talk to your colleagues, your people who are learning technology. So every word you hear while makes sense. Just keep running behind these terminologies, and everything should make sense. If someone says Docker is a containerization, So that is not the definition you are learning or you have to learn. You have to understand Docker as well as containerization. And if you understand everything end to end and everything makes sense to you, a logical sense, that's when you are on a right path. So do not learn anything just for sake of learning. Learn just to make sure that everything makes sense to you. And if anyone of your colleague, of your peer students or interviewer ask you a question, you are able to answer everything with clarity. That's what you have to learn as part of your trainings and your learning when you are actually preparing for a job. Okay, so coming to our exciting offers, as I mentioned, guys, this is the one-time offer just for 30 minutes. Just let us know your full name and email address and your phone number in the chat box if you're interested in any of these 5 courses. So if you're interested in cybersecurity, Python, Scrum, project management, Linux, if you're interested in any one of the course, okay, any one of the course, just for next 30 minutes, it's for 349. Okay, just for 30 minutes. We are running this first time we are running this offer where we are giving all these courses just for 349. Just one course, any course you can take for 349. Please let us know in the chat your full name and email address and your number. We will reach out personally to all of you and register you in these courses. These are the live trainings by the experienced instructor who has 10 to 15 years of experience with the industry exposure. So ensure if you want to learn project management, Scrum, Linux, Python, cybersecurity, we have dedicated experienced instructors who can guide you through, and they will ensure that you understand everything end to end. So it is 349 only for next 30 minutes. Okay. So I'm just here for one more minute and then we will be proceeding further with our last section where we are going to talk about AWS CLI. So again, guys, 30 minutes, next 30 minutes, offer price 349 for all of you. And there will be 5, like there are 5 courses which are, and any one course will cost you 349. Okay, I think we are good. We can proceed further with our next section. And everyone, if you want to take out your notepad, please take out your notepad. Now we will be talking about the AWS CLI. Okay, so to all of you, you can use chat room to respond. What do you think? What is CLI? Can you just type real quick? What do you think? What is CLI? And yeah. So what do you think, guys? What is CLI? Command line interface? Yes, yes. Some of you are saying command line interface. Yes. Okay. Just a second. Okay. So we have to understand that what is program line interface? Okay. Or sorry, command line interface, which is CLI. Just a second. I mean, this is really getting a problem right now. Just a second, guys. Just give me a second. I'm sorry for this. Okay, so I'm just using a different notepad here. So right now we have to understand that what is AWS CLI. And as you said, AWS CLI is a command line interface. Now we have to understand that why do we need a command line interface? And before that, we have to understand what is command line interface. Basically, what happens that whenever you want to use any application, okay, so and whenever you want to use any application, you use basically a black window, and I think you must have already seen a black window like command prompt, a terminal. So in our laptop we have seen terminal, right? In MacBook you have seen terminal, but in your Windows machine you might have seen a command prompt. What do you do with this black screen? Can you do something? Can you play a movie over here? No. Answer is no. You cannot play or you cannot see any button over here. There is no button at all. It's just a black window where you can write commands to do something. So over here, if I type command, let's say clear, So it is going to do something for me. Let's say if I want to, see the directories, I just type ls and it gives me all the directories over here, right? So what I'm doing, I'm typing a command. This black window is understanding my command, okay? And when this black window is understanding the command, it is showing me some output. So if I type over here mkdir, this is for creating directory. If I type over here is under this folder, so these are the commands which I can use to use my laptop. But you guys will have one question. All of you might be having a question that, Naman, when we can go to a folder, okay, to see my files, why do I need to use this command line interface? Why does my computer or my laptop has this command line interface at all? I mean, this is the question which a lot of students, they ask me that, Naman, we don't want to use command line interface. It is so confusing. And every time I have to do something, I have to write the command, which is time taking, which is a real big problem. Okay. And it is very complicated. And I agree with you that, to use this command line interface, you have to type a lot of commands, which is time taking, which is not a good way of using any laptop. So understand one thing, guys, that in any organization, when you're going to work as cloud engineer, DevOps engineer, you're going to work on a technical role, you will see this command line interface a lot. All the organizations, they prefer all this command line interface. Why? Because this seems to be a very structured way of dealing with something. Let's say if you want to open a file or if you want to do some automation, that can be done with the help of command line interface. So all the automations, the work which needs to be done technically, all the organizations, they prefer this command line interface. Now when we say that, so I hope you understand that command line interface is just a method of using your laptop. Okay, if it's using your laptop with the help of commands. Okay, now let me just open a text pad for you. Okay, so we understand that command line interface is a way where we type a lot of commands. Okay, now next thing is that when we type a lot of commands, then why do we need AWS CLI? So all of you, in my opinion, all of you understand that CLI is to type a lot of commands. But now, why do we need AWS CLI? I think we can use the console. I can just go to console over here. Okay, this is the AWS console. And I hope everyone or many of you have used this console all the time. You have gone to Lambda or you have gone to EC2, you have used IAM, and you just go over here. And if you want to create a user, you just click on few buttons and you do it, right? So over here, when you go and click on users, you can add users over here. Or if you want to go to, let's say you want to create EC2 instance. So you just search EC2 and you basically create EC2 instance. This is one way of using AWS, which is AWS UI, which is called as AWS UI. Okay, AWS UI, which means AWS user interface. Okay, so if any user wants to use any AWS service, he will go and use this console over here and will basically create instances, will create AMIs, volumes, snapshots. Everything can be used by clicking on the lot of over here. I can just click on these and I can select few options. Okay, I can launch my instance. However, there is another way of doing this, that is with the help of CLI. So when you basically want to, one second, let me just close this. Yeah, so when you basically want to, use or create any EC2 instance, you want to create any S3 bucket, you can just type a command and create that CLI. With the help of CLI, you can create that, S3 bucket, or you want to create IAM user, you can do it with the help of CLI as well. Most of the organization, they prefer the use of CLI. So wherever you will be placed in future, even that organization will prefer that you use CLI. Now, okay. Now let's understand one more thing. So let's understand that how many ways are there to interact with AWS. Can you guys tell me this question? Like, if you can just respond in the chat box. How many ways are there to use AWS? Let's say that I want to create S3 bucket. So how many ways I have to create AWS S3 bucket? So some of you are saying 2. Okay, some of you are saying 3. Can you tell me what are the 3 ways? People who are saying 3, can you tell me what are the 3 ways? Okay, SDK, that's a good point. Like SDK, you can use SDK. Yeah. Okay, so you can use AWS SDK. Okay, what are the ways? Like, there is one more way which I know that you can use to deal with AWS services. What do you think, guys? Okay.
By writing the code, Visual Studio Code.
That is through SDK. That's SDK.
Oh, okay.
Okay. The 4th way is AWS APIs. Okay. Now these APIs, yes, you're right, APIs. So these APIs also can be used to basically interact with AWS. So if you basically use AWS, if you want to use AWS, you can use with the REST APIs. I'm not sure if how many of you knows REST APIs, but that's too technical, and that is something expected by a software developer. So you don't need to get into all these things now. So primarily there are 3 ways of interacting with AWS, and one is UI, second is CLI, and third is SDK. So now SDK is again something which is preferred or which is used by someone who is a developer. So let's say that you are working as a Python developer or a MERN stack developer or front-end developer or back-end developer. So that is some SDK is going to be used by those people who are actually working as software developers. Okay, SDK stands for Software Development Kit. Okay, it stands for Software Development Kit. So we are going to have the session the coming week on SDK. If anyone wants to enroll, do let us know so that we can sign you up in AWS SDK. We are going to have a capsule course on SDK. But now coming to CLI and UI. So UI is something which is very common. Everyone has used this, and you call it as UI or GUI. It is same. So UI and GUI is same. UI stand for user interface, and GUI stand for, or you can say GUI, this is stand for graphical user interface. So this is something which you are already using, and I'm not gonna put light on this. I'm gonna just talk about CLI because we are here to learn CLI more. Okay. Now, so it means that we have to understand how can I use some commands, okay, in a very, very simple terms. How can I use a command to basically create a S3 bucket? Or how can I use a command to see how many IAM users I have? So that is CLI. Now I can use CLI. Okay, there are 2 ways. There are 2 ways to use CLI. Okay, what are those 2 ways? I know 2 ways. Probably there are more ways, but right now there are 2 primary ways to use CLI. One is you can use, you can connect your terminal or command prompt with AWS. Okay, so if you want to run some commands and do magic on AWS, then you can basically use your terminal. What is terminal? This is the black window, which is terminal. You will find terminal in all the MacBook. If you're using Windows, you might have seen command prompt. In your search button, try to type command prompt. The black window will pop up in front of you. So in Windows, basically you use command prompt. Okay, and in MacBook, you call it as terminal. Okay, so one way of using CLI is terminal or command prompt. Okay, what's the another way? Another way is Cloud Shell. Okay, there is something called as Cloud Shell. Whether you use the first option, which is terminal or command prompt, or you use Cloud Shell. Both the options provide you feasibility of using commands. So at the end of the day, you are actually executing commands on terminal or command prompt or Cloud Shell. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to run commands to interact with AWS either on terminal or command prompt, or we can use Cloud Shell. Okay, now, so these are the two ways by which you can execute your CLI commands to interact with AWS. Always remember, guys, I know that some of you are very new. That's why I'm repeating this. UI is to click on these buttons, okay, and navigate across wherever you want to go. Let's say you want to go to S3 or you want to go to IAM. So you basically go over there and create your bucket. This is UI, okay. But when it comes to CLI, whatever actions we are trying to do on UI, we can do those same action with the help of every one of you. Now, there are two ways. One way is using terminal and command prompt, and another way is to use Cloud Shell. Okay, so one way is to use terminal and command prompt, and another way is to use Cloud Shell. Now, let's go one by one. Let's understand terminal first, and then we'll go to Cloud Shell. Okay, now, if I want to use my terminal, okay, to basically to list down my S3 buckets. Okay, so let's imagine I want to see S3 buckets, in my AWS account. How can I do that? With the help of CLI. I want to use CLI. Okay, always remember, guys, there is a process. Okay, so the first step is that you have to install AWS CLI 2.0 in your laptop. Whether you are using Windows or you're using MacBook, make sure that you have installed AWS CLI. How can you do it? Just quickly go to Google, okay, and type over here AWS CLI. Download. 2.0 is the latest version, which is stable, which does not have any issues. So you can download AWS CLI 2.0. So when you click on the first link over here or second link over here, you can just click any one of the link. And let's say I click on this. And now over here, you on the right hand side, you can find over here. If you're using Windows, click on this button. If you're using Mac OS, click on this button. Let's imagine I have Mac OS, so I'll click on this button and it will download in my laptop and I will install it. Let's imagine that it's already installed for me. Let's imagine that this step is done. Okay, I have already installed in my laptop. How can I verify if AWS CLI is installed in my laptop? To do that, what I can do is I can just like verify whether it is installed or not. So how to do it? Just go to terminal, open terminal if you're using MacBook. If you're using Windows, open your command prompt and type AWS. So when you type AWS over here, you will see this message, this kind of AWS help and everything. It means it is installed. If you see something like, command is not found or something like that, it means it is not installed. So how to verify it? Just go to your terminal or command prompt and type AWS. When you type AWS on your command prompt, you will see something like this. It means it is already installed. Okay, so in my laptop, it is already installed. So I have verified it. Now, moving to third part of it, that let's imagine that I have to connect my AWS CLI, which is already installed in my laptop. So I told you in the first step how to install AWS CLI. We did that. Then we even verified that whether AWS CLI is installed or not. Now, how can I connect my AWS CLI with my account? So I have this account over here. I have my AWS account. This is my account ID. And this is my, let me show you. Just a second. Yeah. So I have my one thing. Okay. So I have my IAM user, and I want to connect my CLI because there are hundreds and thousands of AWS accounts. How does this CLI knows that it has to connect with my account? So I have to do some identification. I have to do some configuration just to ensure that I am connecting to my account only. Okay. So right now it is not connected. At this point of time, it is not connected with any account. I have to do a configuration. So the third step is to do configuration. Okay. I have to do third step is to do configuration in order to connect my terminal with my AWS account. Okay. First of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to log into my my AWS account as an IAM user. So let me just log in real quick. So over here, you can see I am trying to log in as IAM user. Once I'm logged in, see, I'm logged in over here. I'll change it to North Virginia. So currently you can see I'm in my AWS account, and this is my account ID. This is my IAM user, and I'm in North Virginia region. Okay, so I hope everyone can see this. Now what I have to do is I have to configure. How to configure? Like I have to basically connect my AWS CLI, which is this black screen, with this. How can I do that? So I have to click on this on top right corner, click on security credentials. So when you click on the security credentials, it will give me access key ID and secret access key. So for configuration, I need access key and secret access key, secret key. This is like your username and password. You can imagine this is like your username and password. So what I'm going to do is, so once I am here in my security credentials, I'll scroll down, and here is an option of access keys for CLI, SDK, and API access. So I'm going to create one access key for me. Okay, so you can see I have created one access key for me. So this is the access key ID. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to type it somewhere here. This is my access key, and this is my secret access key. So I can just copy it and paste it here because I'm going to use it in a while. These are the two keys I need to connect to my AWS account. So don't get afraid, guys, or don't get scared that we have to do it every time. No, this has to be done only once. Okay, this has to be done only once. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my terminal. I have to write a command over here, which is AWS configure. Okay, so I'm going to type my command AWS configure here. When I type enter, it's going to ask me for key ID. I'm just going to copy my key ID over here, and I'm going to paste it here. Now it's asking me for secret access key. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this secret access key and paste it here. And I'll press enter. And now it's asking me if I need to change a region name. I can enter any other region name if I want to, but I'm just going to use the same. So I'm just going to press enter. Now I'm just going to press enter again, and this is configured. It's done. So my configuration is actually done. Okay. It's a very simple step, guys. You have to first go to your account, create your access key ID and secret access key. Once it is created, you have to type AWS configure in your terminal and or command prompt. When you type this, it will prompt you for all these four things. Just paste your access key, then paste your secret access key and press enter and enter. It is configured. Now let's see if it is really configured. Let's verify if it is configured. So now my fourth step is verify if it's configured. This is my fourth step. Okay, so this is just one time session. Let me just remove all this now. So okay, let me just put it like this one. So we have a step one in step 1, what we are doing, we are installing CLI and setting up. So this is a step 1. This is just one time, guys. Remember, this is just one time in your laptop. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically, last step is to verify if it is configured. How can I verify? I can just type a simple command to see, let's say if I type AWS S3 ls. So what this command is going to do, this is going to show me all the S3 buckets. Okay, this is going to show me all the S3 buckets. Now if I press enter, it's going to show me 2 buckets, Thinkcloudly sample and Thinkcloudly sample 1. Let me go and verify if these buckets are present. So I'm going to just go to S3 service and see if these buckets exist. Okay, I can see these two buckets over here. It means that now my CLI is ready. Now I can interact with the help of commands, and I can do anything, whatever I want to do with the help of commands, which I am doing over here with the help of, with the help of UI. Now I don't need UI anymore. I can just go ahead and close this. I don't need anymore. Let's say I just close it, let's say. Okay. Now, once this is closed, I can do whatever I want to do. Let's imagine I want to list down the users. I can just type AWS IAM list -users. Okay. Now it's going to show me, okay, you can see that it's showing me some users. So it's really messy. I think for people who come from non-IT background, sometimes it becomes, it's really messy. So let me show you the quick way or the direct way of understanding this. So let me copy this. If you see some text like this in curly bracket, you can just directly copy it. Open JSON viewer. And paste it here. Now you can see how many users are there. There are 4 users, user 1, user 2, user 3, user 4. And I can just expand. So this is for Bertrand. Second, this is for Jax. This is for Levis, and this is for Nama. You can see. So in this account, in this AWS account, I have 4 IAM users. Now to find out how many IAM users I have, I did not use my GUI. I did not use my user interface. I simply typed a command and it gave me all the, all the users, all the IAM users. For the people who use frequently CLI, it becomes more quick to see all these. Like I just typed one command and it gave me all the results. But if I want to do it on my console, I first have to go to my console. Okay. I first have to go to my console. Okay. And here I have to log in. Once I log in, then I'll go to IAM, click on IAM users. I'll basically go to IAM. I go to users, and then I see these four people over here, 4 users over here, which I did in just one command. One minute, let me just show you. I just typed AWS IAM list -users. See, it will give me the user list. See, it gave me the 4 user list. So for the people who use CLI, it's quick. It's really quick. That's why AWS CLI is actually more popular in the organizations, because people get friendly with all these commands. Now, if I want to create, okay, now the interesting question, I think all of you have this in mind right now. How do I know that what command I have to use? I mean, this is something which is, which is always a question I always expect from my students or from all our students, that how do I know that, Naman, if I have to type IAM user, or if I have to type S3 over here, how do I know this? Always remember, guys, we have to use the CLI documentation. Everything is available. It's not possible to remember thousands of commands or millions of commands. It's not possible for a very expert engineer. Everyone, they basically use CLI. Okay. they basically use CLI documentation. So what you have to do is basically you have to go to CLI documentation. And over here, let's say if I go to the CLI documentation reference, what do I want to do? Let's imagine I want to create a bucket. Okay. So how do I want to create a bucket? I can just type here AWS on my Google. One second, let me just go to Google and show you from the scratch. So I want to create a bucket with the help of CLI. I can just type AWS S3 create bucket CLI. So when I type this, I can just click on this and I can click on the first link. It will give me the documentation which I have to follow to fulfill my task. So my task is to create the bucket with the help of CLI. How am I going to do it? So I'm going to basically go over here and I'm going to look at this synopsis is like all the commands over here, but you can just directly jump onto examples. I mean, I just find this the very easiest way. You will find this example. You have to basically run this command. And when you run this command, you will be able to create your own bucket. So let's say that I want to create a bucket. I have to type AWS S3 API, create bucket, and then I have to type this. I have to type this. Let me copy this completely. Okay. Let me just copy it. Let me paste it in the notepad. Okay. And here I'll change the bucket name to Thinkcloudly sample 3 or 2, let's imagine. And which region I want to create, I can just, now once I do this, I just change my bucket name. I can just copy it and paste it in my terminal, which is connected to my AWS. So let me just clear the screen first. And now if I type the command and I press enter, this command is going to create a bucket for me. The name is Thinkcloudly sample 2. You can see here, if you see this message, it means this has been created for you. Now I'll go back and I basically go and go to my AWS account. Let me just go to AWS account and I go to S3. And you will see that the bucket has been created. Let me just show you real quick. So if I go to buckets, you can find the sample 2 bucket has been created. You just saw, we just have to smartly follow all these examples and everything works. Sometimes this becomes difficult, but it comes by practice. You have to basically create bucket. You can try creating, let's say users you want to create a user. So when you want to create a user, just follow this documentation, go to the first link. Okay. Over here, scroll down bottom to your example. That's a best way of using it. Okay. And now over here, you can see over here, you want to create the username with Bob. So now I go here and I paste this directly. Now, if I want to change it to, let's say, Destiny. So what will happen? It will create a user for me with the name of Destiny. You can see here. And now if I go back to my AWS and I type IAM, you will find here, if I go to users, you will find the user has been created with the name Destiny. So you can see we are not using UI anymore. We are using CLI to deal with all the problems. If I want to list down the users, I want to list down the, whatever I want to do, I'm just using my CLI, but I have to refer documentation. Even the experts refer the documentation. Okay. So this was it, guys. Let me just, don't leave right now. We have a surprise gift for all of you. Okay. So please be here for next 2 minutes. I know we are already up the time, but just give us 5 more minutes, like 2 or 3 more minutes. And we will be letting you know what is a surprise gift for all of you, which is really going to help you. Trust me. Okay. So over here, you can see, I'm just going to quickly go over this. So AWS CLI, 4 sections, which are very helpful. Introduction. You should know what is AWS CLI, Command Line Interface, to interact with AWS console in more smarter way. More than 1,000+ commands to access AWS in UI restricted environment. When you go for a work, there will be a situation where your client will not allow you to use UI. You have to use CLI. What you have to do to use CLI, you have to configure. And I told you the steps for configure. Remember these four steps to configure? I think those were easy. And after that, we have commands. So for commands, you have to refer the command line interface documentation. And then we have help and explore. So over here, we have help and explore. This is really good. Let's imagine that you do not know any command, okay, and you want to know more about it. Now, what you can do, you can basically go to, you can go to AWS CLI, AWS S3 and type help. If you want to know about this, more about this command, just type AWS S3 help. It will give you all the documentation over here, okay? I know it looks really messy, but if you go below, you will find commands, you will find examples, you will find everything over here. But still, personally, I recommend to use Google. I mean, this documentation doesn't help in that way because it looks a little messy. Okay, but if you want to basically use, if you really want to use the documentation, use Google. I mean, that's more structured if you look at here. Okay. Now this was it, guys. If you have any question, do let me know so that I can answer, and do let us know the feedback. Now this is a time for the surprise gift for all of you. Okay, for all the 71 people over here with us, we have a surprise for you. So we are basically giving a self-paced learning either on Scrum Master or DevOps. You can choose anyone if you want Scrum Master or DevOps. For next 15 days, we are giving you the access. Either you can sign up for DevOps, you will get Terraform, Jenkins, and Linux. Okay, it's completely free for next 15 days. We will give you access. You just sign up with us, and once we create your login credential, you will be sending you an email. But how to access this, how to basically sign up for this, it's a very easy way. So what you have to do is you have to basically go to thinkcloudly.com/gifts. So when you basically type /gifts, you will be redirected to this Google form. Over here, you just type your full name and select whether you want DevOps as your self-paced learning or you want Scrum Master. We have actually sent this link even in the chat so that you can click. Please fill this complete form for us, and we will be sending you your login credentials. If you are not a registered user with Thinkcloudly, we will be sending you your username and the password on your email. When you log in, you will find your DevOps courses or Scrum Master. This is completely free. This is a self-paced learning, and this is completely free so that you can sign up, and either you can go for DevOps or you can go for Scrum Master. I mean, this is really a very good opportunity for all of you to access our industry verified and standardized content free of cost for next 15 days. This is only for the users who are part of this webinar. You can just click on this link, which you see over here in the chat box of Zoom, and copy it and paste it here. Let me just, you can just type /gifts, thinkcloudly.com/gifts. When you open it, you will find an option to fill this form. If you don't fill this form, we will not be able to provide you free access for 15 days for DevOps courses, which is like we are giving you 3 DevOps courses, Linux, Terraform, and Jenkins. This will really boost your knowledge in the DevOps area with the help of cloud as well. And if you really want to get into technical or into management, because you are a management guy, you can basically go for Scrum Master. You can choose either DevOps or Scrum Master. So this will be valid only for 15 days. After 15 days, your access will get revoked automatically. But if in case you need more, you can let us know. However, this is a good opportunity for all of you. You just need to fill this form up. Once you fill this, I mean, this is going to really helpful, everyone, because we will be reaching out to you. We will be sending an email as well with your login credentials, username, and the password. And also we will be, we will be adding your course in your ID. So students who have already registered with us, you can also provide your full name and email address and your phone number. Make sure that all this should be verified so that the details on your WhatsApp as well as on your email can reach you. We will be sending your username and the password over WhatsApp and your email address. Just fill this form up and let's see if you can just avail this offer. So how many of you are interested to get this 15 days access?
I'm interested.
Okay. So just quickly, please quickly go ahead
I'm
and
interested.
awesome, guys, awesome. Just go ahead and fill this form up. I mean, you just need to type Thinkcloudly/gift or gifts, whatever you want to type. Just gift. If you type, you will find this form up, and once you fill this up, immediately our admin team will work, and they will be sending you the access. Okay. Yeah, everyone, please do that, please. Okay. This will really help our admin team. Otherwise, you will miss this because we cannot. Yeah. If it is not accepting your phone number, if it is not accepting your phone number, let me just check if it is not. Let me just check 1 second. You can type your phone number with your full name if it is really creating problem for you. Okay. Just a second, guys. Let me just check why it's not accepting. Yeah, it is accepting. Can you just, oh, you just remove plus. Yeah, that's a good thing, Jackie. So thank you for telling us. Yeah, please remove plus sign. Okay. Whosoever is interested, please fill this form, please. This will really help our team to, create your accounts if your accounts are not created. And if your accounts are created, this will help us to recognize your account. And
Yeah, Naman.
yes.
This is Amen.
Hi, Amen. How are you doing?
Yeah, but can I do it from my Thinkcloudly profile account online?
Yes, you can do it, but please provide your email address so that our admin team will tag or will enroll you in the same course.
Okay, we'll add it to my account. Okay, all right.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Guys, you can choose either DevOps or Scrum Master. If you are filling, there is no option to fill both. Either you can avail DevOps or Scrum Master. Whosoever is interested to make their career into cloud and DevOps, please select DevOps. Whosoever is interested to get more knowledge in Scrum Master, go for Scrum Master, guys. Okay. So we can just is everyone like are you guys facing any issue right now? Okay. What is the issue are you facing, guys? Please tell me so that I can just really help you.
Hello, hi, Naman. This is Baljinder.
Yeah, Baljinder, just I saw your question. Just type thinkcloudly.com/gift/gifts. Yeah.
It's still not taking my phone number.
Okay, let me tell you how. Just put your phone, just put your name, put your Scrum, choose your course, put your email address, whatever email address you have. Okay, let me just put mine. Okay. And after that, I mean, you are looking at my screen. Don't enter plus. Just enter your enter your number, whatever phone number you have. Okay. Like whatever.
Yes.
Just enter that and click on submit. It will take.
Yes, I think you said we should put the phone number you can access on WhatsApp.
Yes. So you can just put that.
Yes, that's what I'm putting, but it's not taking it.
Is it for Ismail? Yeah, Ismail,
Yes.
you can drop your number in the WhatsApp chat and we will fill the form for you. Just put your email address and your interest, DevOps or Scrum Master, and your phone number. Just put it in the chat.
I'll put it now.
Yeah, our
Thank
admin
you so much.
for you. So guys, whosoever is facing issues, please send your full name, interest area, and your email address in the chat. Our admin team will submit the form for you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay.
I don't know why mine is refusing here.
Yeah, please send your full name and email address and your interest area in the chat. Okay, so we are in the last section, guys. Do you have any questions to answer, like, so that we can answer?
Yes, I have a question.
Yeah, please tell me.
Yes, I have a question about the command line interface. That mean you guys gonna teach us, or because you didn't talk about that, we're gonna have the course just for the command line interface, or?
I mean, if you are interested, you can sign up. We released the capsule courses, and you will see capsule courses on CLI SDK. So you can sign up for that in coming weeks.
Yes, I have a question then. I asked a question, but I didn't get a response. My
Okay.
question is that the AWS Command Line Interface class, for how long is it going to be?
For command line interface class, you want to ask only for
Yes,
command line interface?
yes, I mean the Command Line Interface master class. For how long would the class go or run?
Command line interface class goes only for 2 to 3 hours. That's a capsule course we have.
Okay, okay.
The capsule
All
course.
right, thank you so much.
No problem. Anyone else who has a question I can answer? Please feel free to ask your questions. Okay.
Hey, Naman, any discount if I bring 3 more people to learn here? What discount am I gonna have?
We have $100 as a referral credit offer for all of you guys. If you can help us in marketing by referring your friends and family members, we really appreciate, and we really want to thank you as a referral credit of $100. So whosoever brings anyone, we always give you a referral credit of $100, which can be withdrawn as a cashback as well. So if in case you bring 3 people in, you get 300. That's a simple way.
But the person that brought me in got the 200, my son and myself.
Definitely.
Oh, okay.
So, no, the person who brought you in.
Yeah.
Joyce, I'll talk to you. Definitely the person who brought you in will get the referral credit. Yeah, we can just have an offline chat. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Anyone else, if you guys can really help us in marketing, in spreading our own courses and services, you will certainly get referral discount. Thank you. Thank you,
That's
everyone. Thank you, everyone.
Hello there. I've just sent you my details. Hello.
Yeah, hi. We just saw your details, and we will certainly create the account, and we'll be sharing you an email.
The telephone number.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for coming. Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope you had a great session. Please let us know the feedback.